Guys, it's Ren here, and I essentially want to show you guys the best relics to run on Duchess, as well as kind of the best weapons to run on Duchess as well. And I wanted to make this video because I feel like a lot of players are under this misconception that you only have to use daggers, and they're running this like quasi status build that's not very good in my opinion. So I wanted to make that clear. And in terms of why I believe I have experience and can kind of talk about this is because I have over like approaching 140 hours, and half of these games that out of the 170 games I've played, half of them are with randoms. So I kind of have a feel for what the game should be like and how it should be played, as well as almost 50 games on Duchess. So in terms of the relics you want to run, you need to be running this one here, Knight of the Beast. You get this from killing a Night Lord, and the stamina recovers with each successful attack +1 is the best relic in the game, undeniably, not even a question. And I'll show you why. Essentially because if I were to use a dagger here, on this guy here, you could see my stamina deplete like crazy, right? So after like one combo chain, I essentially kind of used up my entire stamina bar. If I dual wield these, I can basically finish one combo chain and not really have any more stamina left over. Now look what happens when I run Knight of the Beast. Right here. So if I run Knight of the Beast, I will be able to attack almost endlessly. So I don't know, that was like almost 20 attacks like at that point. If I dual wield, it's a little worse. You generally don't want to be dual wielding daggers. But like, look, I finished a combo chain and I almost was able to do like 2 combo chains with that amount of stamina. So essentially running this, especially early, makes the biggest difference. Look at this. Level 1, Knight of the Beast. I can attack, what, almost 10 times without Knight of the Beast. I can attack maybe 5 times, I think, is the amount I can attack before I run out of stamina. So essentially for multiplayer group play, guys, a lot of times they're just going to be attacking the boss from the rear. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, out of stamina. So it's essentially basically gives you, I would say, 60% more attacks with your stamina bar. And that's essentially a 60% damage buff because you're attacking the boss from the behind is the way to play it. So this needs to be ran. In terms of the second talisman, character skill attack power is kind of the best, in my opinion, the best Duchess class relic. You want to be running this because it essentially increases your restage from 50 to 60% damage, and that is very, very good. This could be better for me. I believe that the best one you could possibly get would be this. Lower your cooldown of your character skill and increase your damage. That would be the best in slot for here. And then in terms of the third one, you just want some type of damage increase as well as Vigor +3. Vigor +3 is the best, in my opinion. You need to be running it on Duchess. Because even if you can dodge everything, you notice that you will go down. It increases your HP by 60. So it makes a very, very big difference. So these 3 essentially are what you want to be running. And you don't want to be running this right here, which is what everyone seems to be running nowadays. The reason being is these 2 lock you into your starting dagger. This third one locks you into your dagger. Duchess's best weapons a lot of the times are not daggers, so you should be running what I have here, some variation. And I'll kind of go into why. Her best weapons at this point. So in terms of her best weapons in the game, they're not these daggers here. This is what everyone thinks are like her best weapons, I would say. Some variation of like this. Blade of Culling, Glintstone, Reduvia, Glintstone, Chris. No, look at how much damage I'm doing. Actually, let me skill this to level 10. Because I need to use some full weapons. So one combo was 664. One double combo. First off, I won't even have the mana for that, or the stamina for that. So that's 793. So essentially, you want to be running these weapons here. Sword of Night and Flame is not bad. I would run that if I don't get anything better. weapon is the best weapon, one of the best weapons in the game. Frozen Needle. Nebula Stars, Bastard Stars, best weapon in the game for her. And Raptor Talons, about, I would say, like 4th or 5th best weapon. So in terms of how I would kind of rank this, is something like this. I would say this, in this order. Basically, Raptor Talons are fantastic. They're better than all those daggers except Reduvia because of the status proc. And you should be playing her for status, because you can see here you can effectively restage your status abilities. So if I were to attack this guy enough times, I can bleed him twice like that. So that's why you should always kind of be going for status like Bleed or Frost, and why you shouldn't really be going with those other daggers that don't have those status, that do like holy damage. Like these ones here, you shouldn't be going for these. They're complete baits in my opinion. They don't do that much damage, only if you have nothing better. They're like B or A tier. Reduvia, fantastic. Dagger animation, procs bleed, very good weapon, but that's the only really good dagger. So if you basically are using that other dagger increased attack power relic, the only thing it would benefit, only time it would come in handy is if you get Reduvia. That's really it. And relying solely on that is not kind of the way you should be playing. In terms of like, because there's all these other great weapons. Raptor Talon, Sword of Night and Flame, which does no status, but it just hits really hard with intelligence scaling. If I proc it. So if I just do this, like you'll see it's hitting really hard. Really good. Really great weapon on her. 3rd best weapon. Rapier, fantastic weapon too. She procs Frost very consistently, and it doesn't use as much damage. You can see here I can essentially attack endlessly compared to a dagger as well. So you can see basically I proc it more than I proc the I proc the Frost more than I proc the Bleed, because intelligence or Frost scales off intelligence, which is a higher stat than Bleed, which scales off arcane. The last weapon people do not seem to understand is Nebula Stars. This weapon is insane. So first off, if you're playing against a boss, you just want to weapon art spam like this. You can see how much damage it'll do. And then you can proc these for restage. So it's essentially doing, I would say, if you're, I'm not hitting him because he's a small enemy, but if I was hitting him, it would be doing like 1,000 more against like a big enemy. And each of these bubbles procs, so you could basically do almost 2k a hit. In terms of the actual weapons itself, fantastic if you get the RNG procs, which create explosions. So you can see there, you could restage the explosions too. See, all those are restaged, right? So this is why this is the best weapon in the game. No one seems to kind of be running it. So those are her best weapons in the game, and I just kind of wanted to reiterate this by saying, yeah, don't take this. These are her best relics, in my opinion. Don't take this one right here. It's too niche. It's playing for Reduvia. There's other play styles to play her, and these kind of are the way to rock.